Right now, the gaming industry is earning more money than Hollywood and the music industry combined. But behind the record-breaking profits and the flashy trailers, there is a graveyard of closed studios and thousands of developers who just lost everything. How can an industry be thriving and collapsing at the exact same time? Today, we're exposing the brutal reality of the $200 billion gaming bubble and the people who are paying the price for its survival. Consider the life of a young game developer. It's 3 a.m., and they are still staring at a computer screen, writing code, fixing bugs, pouring every ounce of energy into building a world that millions of people will eventually play. Months of relentless effort, years of specialized experience, driven by a single simple dream, to bring my game to the world. Then, without warning, a company-wide meeting is called. One single sentence shatters everything. The studio is shutting down. There is no warning. There is no backup plan. Just a cold email notification, and the job is gone. This isn't a scene from a movie script. This is the current reality of the modern gaming industry. On one side, games are shattering sales records every single day. On the other side, studios are being liquidated. Thousands of talented developers are losing their livelihoods in an instant. The question we have to ask is, if the gaming industry is growing so fast, why are the layoffs happening? Gaming is now officially one of the largest entertainment industries on the planet. It is bigger than the film industry. It is bigger than the music industry. Every year, billions of dollars in revenue are generated. AA games launch with the budget of blockbusters. Mobile games earn millions in daily transactions. And esports has transformed into a massive global phenomenon. So where is the disconnect? In recent months, a shocking and consistent trend has emerged. Major gaming corporations have announced massive layoffs. Legendary studios have been closed for good. Highly anticipated projects have been canceled mid-development, and veteran developers have suddenly found themselves unemployed. This pattern is hitting both the US and Europe with equal force. The most disturbing part? This is all happening while the demand for games remains at an all-time high. To truly understand this story, we have to look back at the pandemic era. When the lockdowns began, people were confined to their homes. The gaming industry didn't just grow, it exploded. Companies began hiring aggressively to keep up with the demand. New studios were founded overnight. Dozens of new projects were greenlit. Everything was moving at a lightning-fast pace. But then, the world began to return to a state of normalcy. People started spending time outside again. The explosive growth began to stabilize and slow down. However, the companies were already carrying the weight of an extra-large staff. This created a surplus, and that is exactly where the cycle of mass layoffs began. Developing a modern AAA game has become an incredibly expensive gamble. It requires hundreds of specialized developers. It takes years of grueling development time. It demands high-end graphics and massive marketing budgets. Sometimes the budget for a single game can climb into the hundreds of millions of dollars. If that game flops even slightly, the company faces a catastrophic financial loss. To minimize this risk, companies are now canceling experimental projects, reducing the size of their core teams, closing down studios that aren't safe bets. The gaming industry operates on a very harsh reality. It is a hit-driven business. This means only a small percentage of games achieve massive commercial success. The rest of the games struggle just to break even. If a company does not have a consistent blockbuster hit, survival becomes a daily struggle. This volatility is exactly why the layoffs are accelerating. Constant funding issues. They deal with immense pressure from publishers. They work with very limited time frames. If one single project fails to meet expectations, the entire studio can disappear overnight. Unfortunately, this trend is becoming the standard across the industry. Currently, most big companies are chasing one specific strategy: the live service model. These are games designed to be updated continuously over many years. They rely on season passes. They depend on in-game purchases. They require regular content drops. The advantage is a stream of continuous revenue. But the problem is massive. If the game does not stay popular every single day, the maintenance costs cannot be justified. When the player count drops, the project is immediately shut down. There is another factor quietly reshaping the industry from within: AI and automation. Game development tools are becoming more advanced and efficient. Certain repetitive processes are being automated by software. This means the demand for certain entry-level or technical roles is beginning to shrink. While this is a long-term trend, the impact is already being felt by the workforce. For the average gamer, this situation is a double-edged sword. On one side, we are seeing high-quality games with incredible graphics and gameplay. On the other side, exciting projects are being canceled before they see the light of day. Sequels are being delayed by years. Beloved studios that made our childhood favorites are disappearing. Gamers are being impacted by this instability, even if they don't see it directly. The most difficult part of this industry is the life of the developer. Exhausting working hours, the infamous crunch culture, a total lack of job stability, and the constant threat of sudden layoffs. Many developers will finish a massive project, only to find there is no guarantee of work on the next one. It is becoming an increasingly unstable and stressful career path. The big question remains, where do we go from here? Some experts believe the industry will eventually stabilize. They predict companies will start hiring more intelligently and selecting projects with more care. They hope the layoff trend will eventually lose its momentum. However, others argue that this cycle is baked into the system. A cycle of boom, then layoffs, then another boom. There is, however, a very interesting shift happening. The massive rise of indie developers. These are small teams with creative ideas and much lower budgets. Sometimes they achieve massive worldwide success. Indie games have proven to the world that you don't need a $200 million budget to create a masterpiece. This movement might be what finally reshapes the industry for the better. The gaming industry looks incredibly glamorous from the outside. The amazing graphics, the blockbuster launches, and the massive fan bases. But on the inside, it is a high-risk, high-pressure environment where the line between success and failure is paper thin. Today, studios are closing and developers are losing their jobs, yet the demand for gaming has never been higher. This paradox is what makes the industry so unique and so dangerous. So the next time you sit down to play your favorite game, remember the story behind the screen. It isn't just a story of entertainment. It is a story of intense struggle and the fight for survival.